here we go for the final time. We are free! Oh, they make contact! A terrible crash!
We're in it.
And good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. Here's the chase for the championship here in the final season. Season 10 of the Snickers Cup Series continues on here on the SRA Sports Channel. Chase race number 5 ready to get underway here at one of my most favorite road courses on the schedule. This is Lime Rock Raceway, and we are getting ready for an exciting 20-lap event. This track, to me, is one of the more exciting tracks because this track, really, there are a lot of areas for you to be able to pass. There's always good racing. There's a lot of good elevation changes, and I don't know, I've always had a nostalgia for this track because I used to race this track back in Sports Car GT back a long time ago, and the fact that it's an NR and brings about such great racing, always excited to come to this track. And for the past couple of seasons, this track has actually played host to a chase race, and it does so here in the last season of Snickers Cup as well. We're getting ready, as I said, for 20 laps of racing. This is the second race of the second round in the chase for the championship. Next week, we end up having our next elimination race, which will be at Zenjoltis, so keep that in mind. It'll definitely be a far cry from the twists and turns that they're going to be encountering here today. On point, on the front row, will be Dylan Poteet. He is a chaser this season, and Dylan Poteet last week at Richmond did not have the best of runs. He comes into this race right now in the danger zone. He is currently situated, out of the 12 drivers still in the hunt, he is situated 10th. And that is not good for Poteet. However, keep in mind, Dylan Poteet's got a bit of a track record already this season. He started out round number 1 with the very first race at Chicagoland, down inside the danger zone. And then the following race, what did he do? He ended up coming away with a solid run at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park and moved out of the danger zone. So can he use a road course here today to maybe move out of the danger zone again? We'll see. He'll start alongside of his Tweenix Racing teammate, Sean Henley. Henley, the former Season 4 Snickers Cup Series champion, still looking for his first win of the season and his final season in Snickers Cup. And he may be able to do it today. Best qualifying effort we've seen out of that 57 in a long time. And then it's going to be a couple of road course masters, if you will. Lyndon Wright in the 81, his last win coming at Watkins Glen back in season, I think it was season 9, he won at Watkins Glen. And alongside of him, Joshua Collard in the 9 car, his last ever win ended up coming back in season 9 at Champs-Élysées. So both of them have last won at a road course, and they're both starting up here inside of the top 5, and then completing the top 5 is going to be Charles Sanford, who's still looking for that first win of the season. He was a 3-time winner last season, and last season it was when the chase began that Sanford's team seemed to come alive. Well, this season we'll see if that's going to be the case. His finishes have been better in the past couple of weeks, have to admit that, but he hasn't found victory lane yet, and he'll start alongside of Chris Dollerton, who right now is on a 3-race top 10 streak. He ended up winning at Chicagoland. He had a top 10 run at Canadian Tire, then he had a top 10 run at the first elimination race of Indianapolis, and then he had another top 10 run, so it's actually 4 top 10 runs that he's had straight, as he ended up finishing solidly in the top 10 last week at Richmond. So Dollerton riding a wave of momentum as he'll roll off here today inside of the top 10 as well. Let's give you a look at the point standings coming into this race as far as the 12 drivers that are still in the hunt for the championship. John Cittadino, with his win last week at Richmond, he is the points leader by a 2-way tie over for second place. That's 10 points he holds over Dougie Shears and James Qualls. Sean Galligan is 4th in the points. He's 13 points out. Cole Daly is in 5th, and he is 17 points out of the top position. Jessica Shelton currently sits in the 6th position. She's actually tied with Austin LaPlante for 6th place. They are both out by 29 points. Danny Wells is 8th in the standings, 37 points back. Ryan Acosta 9th. He is 38 points back. He is the first driver right now in the danger zone. Then it's Dylan Poteet. He is currently in 10th. He's 40 points back from the leader. Trent Dunham is in the danger zone. He is 45 points back. And Jacob Lawler is also in the danger zone after we saw the pit road miscue he had last week at Richmond. That places him 46 points back in the final position in 12th place. So Ryan Acosta, Dylan Poteet, Trent Dunham, Jacob Lawler, 3 former NNSCRA champions right there. A former Truck Series champion in Dylan Poteet, former Truck and Mobile and Cup Series champion in Trent Dunham, and a former Snickers Cup Series champion and Jacob Lawler, all in danger of maybe getting eliminated if they don't get something going here this week or next week at Zen Joltis. Only one driver we know for sure will be in the next round. That is John Cittadino with his win at Richmond last week. But without further ado, it's time to get this race going. We're going to go down trackside now as a pretty cool guy, driver the number 52, Kraft Mac and Cheese Chevrolet, gets ready to give us some famous words in motorsports. The command to fire the engine today being given by Seth Cole. Let's go down trackside now and get that command. Drivers, start your engine! Command given. Field will roll off here. This track, it doesn't take them very long to get around it. And you'll notice up ahead, James Qualls is up ahead of these field. There's some kind of weird thing with the way that the starting lineup is. So Qualls is actually going to back off, and there you see him letting everybody on by. I think Qualls is supposed to start something like 13th or something like that. It's a weird glitch. I don't understand it myself, but it happens. You notice that Dylan Poteet and Sean Henley were parked ahead of the pace cars. I don't know what it's all about. I think Qualls actually has to move out of line still. Let Collard on by, and they're trying to all get situated here. They'll get situated before they get to the green. They normally do. If they don't, someone may end up getting a black flag. I don't know. So anyway, as you looked at your starting lineup, it may still be going. I don't know. I can't see it. It'll be done in post-editing. So we got an opportunity up here for a couple of chase drivers to maybe win this race with the track position they gained and move into the next round. Dylan Poteet, of course, one of them. Dougie Shears starting up here as well. I see Austin LaPlante and Jessica Shelton there too. Jessica Shelton, of course, winning the last time we were out at a road course at Canadian Tire. That locked her up a spot in this round. And now if she can win at here today at Lime Rock, she's locked up into the next round, round 3. So here we go, getting ready to turn them loose for 20 laps of racing. And Qualls did not move out of line, so maybe he's supposed to start in that position. I don't know. Oh, looks like now he's starting to drop back. Now he's letting them go here on the front straightaway. Kind of hard to make passes here in the turns. No, he's actually going to drive back up here. Alright, so I don't know. Green flag is out. We're underway here at Lime Rock. I'm not exactly sure where Qualls is supposed to be in the qualifying order. But he's up there starting this race in the 4th position as Dylan Poteet will get out to the early advantage. They are 3 wide behind him. James Qualls, Joshua Collard, Austin LaPlante, Jessica Shelton back in that mess. Lyndon Wright now moves up to 2nd. Sanford moves to 3rd. Battles on for 4th place, James Qualls, Sean Henley. And it'll be interesting to see if either James Qualls or Joshua Collard get penalized, as Sean Henley got off track a little bit there. That's going to cost him. He loses a spot to James Qualls, and now Dougie Shears going to hound him. That would be, I believe, for position number 5. And Dylan Poteet will lead the first lap of the race. There's a bonus point, and the yellow flag is out. Caution out here before they got to the start-finish line. So we're under yellow here on the very first lap of this race. Pace car pulls out quickly to pick up the field. Over 100 miles per hour that pace car came out of pit road. And Austin Mongold is on pit road, along with William Duncan. And there's James Qualls, who I believe is coming to pit road. I think he's having to serve a penalty for having started too far up in the grid. He's going to be able to, fortunately, serve that under the caution flag, so I think he's still going to be on the lead lap. So that was a fortunate thing, that caution coming out for the 70 car And he now returns to the racetrack. So William Duncan, Austin Mongold on pit road. Those appear to be the only two that were involved in whatever this yellow flag was. So let's take a look now and see what happened as we're under caution for the very first time here on the very first lap at Lime Rock. Well, here's a look at what happened. We're going to see if we can find the initial contact here. And it looks like Kyle Matthews got into Zach Buchanan, who then got into William Duncan. And watch this. I've never seen a wreck take place in this portion of the track. Duncan up into that chain link fence. The car flips upside down, and then Austin Mongold, while that car is on its nose, hits William Duncan, and Duncan goes flipping end over end. Never before have I seen a car go up into that portion of the track before in all the years that we've run here at Lime Rock. And here, amazingly enough, in the final season, we end up seeing it. But that is one scary and wild ride there for William Duncan. And the contact between Mongold and himself took place when William Duncan was literally on his nose. The rear decklet of his car was facing up to the heavens. And he just got clobbered and flipped over. And this is definitely going to hurt Austin Mongold, because you think about the situation Mongold comes into this race in. He's got a 3-point advantage over DJ Curtis. If he finishes out of the race, DJ Curtis could close it up to 2, maybe even 1 if he could maybe lead a lap today, or he could take the points lead if he picks up his second win of the season. There you see Qualls in there. He did the stop and go penalty, but fortunately with that caution coming out, he was able to serve it without going a lap down. So it looks like William Duncan and Austin Mongold, fortunately it's only a 2-car incident, but they will both probably be out of the race after some hard impact here in the latter section of the course. So the field is going to be getting the 1-to-go signal, I believe, when we get about midway through this track. And we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing. Drivers out of the race, as you would expect. William Duncan, Austin Mongold. Mongold will finish dead last. So that means that there is no doubt about it. DJ Curtis will be locking up Rookie of the Race here this week. And that means that he will close up the points lead Mongold has over him in Rookie of the Year standings to 2 points. Now, if DJ Curtis can get out and lead a lap, that's another point that he would be able to make up. If he can lead the most laps, that's another point he'd be able to make up. Or if he wins the race, that is 5 points that he would be able to get. And that would actually give him the points lead heading into next week. Matter of fact, let's talk about the next couple of weeks as far as the chase for the championship, as the lights are indeed out atop the pace car. We will go back green this time on lap 4. We are going to finish up today's race at Lime Rock. Then our next elimination race takes place next week at the high banks of Zen Joltis. I was really seriously considering not even going to Zen Joltis at all, but it did end up finding its way onto the schedule. And then the final round will end up, or round 3 I should say, will end up going to Michigan for the first race. Second race will take place at the second visiting of Thornton, the Turn of Death, and then we'll be finishing out the third round with, of course, Talladega Superspeedway. And then, as mentioned before, our season finale will take place in what I'm expecting to be a 100% race, too, at Auto Club, where our final 4 will battle it out to be the highest finisher and take the last ever Snickers Cup Series Championship. But the question is, who will the final 4 be? We still have 12 drivers eligible for being in one of those 4 slots. As Dylan Poteet leading the way here will get us back underway. The green flag just moments away from being shown again here on lap 4 of 20. And there it is, green flag is out. And it looks like Lyndon Wright spun the tires, and Charles Sanford now is going to try and get a run to the outside of him and try and get by. Lyndon Wright did not get going at all, and that just backed everyone up behind him. Sanford, Henley, Shears all trying to scramble for real estate. And look at how Lyndon Wright got through that corner. Now he's starting to close in on Poteet's back bumper. So that slip-up didn't really cost him, and now he slips up again, and that time it's going to cost him, I think. Charles Sanford, Dougie Shears starting to get a run on him, and this is going to cost Lyndon Wright for sure. Lyndon slipping into the grass there, not getting much grip. And now here comes Sanford and Dougie Shears to his back door. And there's Pichu London. Talk about another guy. We talked about Chris Dollerton, how his finishes have really improved in the last couple of weeks. Pichu London, same thing for him. Pichu London had a solid run of second place the last time we were at a road course at Canadian Tire. And right now he's now up, I think, scored in the 5th position, and that is indeed the case. Lyndon Wright again on the back bumper of Dylan Poteet. Now, Dylan Poteet comes into this race in the danger zone. He needs to get himself out of the danger zone, but Lyndon Wright's trying to pick up his first win of the season. So this is 2 drivers with 2 different agendas, but both of them wanting the same goal, and that's to win this race. and right, losing ground that time to Dylan Poteet. Looks like the track conditions here are a lot slicker than we normally have seen in the past races that we've had here. Drivers having a little bit of difficulty going through the turns. The cars seem to want to step out on them. And now, as you can see, the dust kicked up there in that corner that will cause some visibility problems. Look at Charles Sampras starting to make a charge here. And James Qualls is on pit road again. Now, this, I don't understand why the 70 is on pit road again, but he is, and now he's going to go a lap down. Now, he already came to pit road and served the black flag for where he started in the grid. So there must be something else that we don't know about. It's Joshua Michaels and Jacob Lawler both up and into the fence, and they're going to lose valuable track position. Michaels was scored 14th last time by. Lawler was scored 15th last time by. And they're 3 wide at Lime Rock. Michaels wisely backing out of that. So I believe now, as a result of having to come to pit road again, that means that James Qualls is now a lap down, which is not going to help him. Now, between himself and 8th in the standings, that would be about 27 points. So maybe he can afford a poor race here today, but next week at Zandvoorts, he certainly won't be able to endure 2 bad finishes. And of course, maybe this thing will end up going into a long green flag run, and these drivers may have to pit. And if they do have to pit, then Qualls could be back on the lead lap. Maybe he pitted expecting that this thing's going to go green the rest of the way, and he can maybe make it the rest of the way on fuel. Who knows? Let's look at the rear of the field, see if we got any struggling chasers. And nobody really back here up to this point. The lowest running chaser right now that's still on the lead lap is 28th place. That is currently Trent Dunham, who is in the danger zone coming into this race. Trent Dunham is actually trying in the final Snickers Cup Series season to do something that no driver has ever done before, and that's win a trifecta of championships. He's already won a Truck Series Championship, he's already won a Mobile Cup Series Championship, but he's never won the Snickers Cup Series Championship. Right now, he's in grave danger of maybe being eliminated from this chase if he doesn't step it up and get himself up here through the field. Now scored in the 29th position, is up ahead. Next highest running chaser, 27th there, Sean Galligan. And 3 wide again. That time it was Buchanan, Dylan Young, and Kyle Matthews that made it work. There's John Cittadino. Got to be the most worry-free guy on track right now. He's locked into the next round regardless of where he finishes this race this week or next week at Zandvoorts with his win last week at Richmond. He actually just ran his fastest lap of the race too, a 48.4 flat, and now just beat it with a 47.42. Up ahead, there's Cold Alley battling with Seth Cole. That's for the 21st position. Cold Alley right now situated 5th in the point standings. He has about a 20-point advantage between himself and 8th in the standings. There's Ryan Acosta, our winner from Indianapolis. And he had a great first round, but the second round didn't start out so well for him. Pretty dismal finish at Richmond last week, and he finds himself the first car in the danger zone in the 9th position in points. Right now running 19th, and if he could pick up some more spots, he could be in a pretty good situation now. And there's Jacob Lawler, former champion, back from season 7. No, sorry, season 8. And it wasn't season 8, it was season 6. I don't know where my head was at. And whoa, one chaser just got up and into the wall, and that was Austin LaPlante. LaPlante, who had a solid outing last week at Richmond, just got into the wall. He was scored 12th last time by. I think he's going to lose a couple of positions. I think he lost one to Collard, and I think he lost one to Silver Fox. Jumping back there to Lawler. Lawler right now in 16th place, and he needs to be running ahead of Ryan Acosta, Danny Wells, Trent Dunham, Austin LaPlante, and pit stops going on here now. Looks like everybody's coming into pit road. So this should, and I say should, cycle James Qualls back onto the lead lap. Let's try and find him. Oh, actually, one car stayed out, and that was Pichu London. 22 stays out to lead a lap. And there you see Qualls in the 70. Yeah, James Qualls is staying out. He's still a lap down, but he'll get back on the lead lap once the 22 comes in to make his pit stop. So interesting that Pichu London decides to wait a lap before he comes to pit road, maybe stretching to see how far he can go. And now he comes in. Got to be careful here on pit road. Some damage there on Anthony McCurry's left side. Might have been some contact between drivers coming onto the pit lane. This isn't exactly a very wide pit lane. It's set for 2 lanes of racing off, but really they're very thin lanes. It's more of a 1-lane pit road, quite honestly. And there's London into his pit stall as Jackson completes his service. Danny Wells down the way, Anthony McCurry as well. James Silverfox. I think some of these drivers that lagged behind there with a slower pit stop were getting damage repaired. There's Seth Cole, Levi McIntyre. Pretty certain I saw some damage on the 52 and a little bit of damage on the 99 at some point in this race. And Pichu London down the way, and there goes Dylan Poteet. Poteet will go by for the lead as the lead cycles back around to the 31. So Pichu London, I think, will end up coming out in second, though. Yes, he will. Third place, I believe, will be Dougie Shears, but they've got some lap traffic that'll be between them and the leader. So next time by will be 8 to go. Pretty certain these drivers can make it the rest of the way on fuel now. So it's going to be Dylan Poteet, the leader, will update the running order, the top 10, and then our chasers once they come around here to complete this lap. Undoubtedly, Dylan Poteet will cycle around as the leader, and there it is. He is the leader of this race. Second place will be Pichu London. Third place is going to be Dougie Shears, but he's got 3 lap cars between himself and second. Then Johnny Gardner is in fourth. Fifth place is Chris Dollerton. Sean Henley is in sixth. The Mercedes-Benz of Nathan Hudson, seventh. Eighth place is actually under contest right now. Jessica Shelton and Austin LaPlante battling for that position. And then completing the top 10, that is Michael Norman. James Qualls, after the cycling of the pit stops, after having to serve that penalty, he's up there in 11th place, though, so Qualls is still in it. The question is, can he make it the rest of the way on fuel? That's going to be the big question for that 70 car. If I were him, I'd try and risk it, quite honestly. He's got a bit of a buffer, a bit of a cushion between himself and 8th place in the standings, so we'll see if Qualls tries to stretch it the rest of the way. As far as the rest of our chasers, Cole Daly is currently scored. I believe he's going to be scored in 13th place. I think he got around Stephen Pollard III that lap. He is indeed 13th. His teammate Jacob Lawler scored 15th. John Cittadino 16th. Ryan Acosta 17th. Sean Galligan is in 18th place. Trent Dunham right now 22nd. Charles Sanford, Lyndon Wright. Look at these guys back in 26th, 27th. These guys were up inside the top 5 at the start of this race. There's Danny Wells way back in 28th place. This is not good for him. He's in the 8th spot in points. He does not want to fall out of the top 8 in standings. As far as the rest of our chasers, well, I think that's all of them, actually. Yeah, that is all of them. So they're all still on the lead lap. But, yeah. Danny Wells, Trent Dunham, where they're running, this is not good for them. So Dylan Poteet, I believe if he goes around one more time across the line, he'll have locked up the most laps led. Pichu London is starting to make a charge here. Cut it down to that corner awfully sharp, and it appears to have closed him up a little bit of the gap between himself and the leader. And there's another car, there's a car in pit road that looked like the 61 of McCrory or the 91 of Silverfox. I couldn't tell which one. It's not McCrory. Was it Silverfox? It wasn't Silverfox. So who was on pit road? Oh, that's Qualls again. Qualls could not make it on fuel, and now he's on pit road, and this is not good for him. I thought maybe the circumstances were going to work out for him. Whoa! London gets Poteet loose as there's a battle on for the lead. Here comes London to the inside of Poteet for the top position with less than 5 to go, and Poteet is going to maybe lose the lead. Can he get outbraked? And London goes to the top position. That was a beautiful slide job by Pichu London, and he's going to go to the lead. So now it's basically going to come down between the former Moblin Cup Series champion Pichu London and the former Truck Series champion Dylan Poteet. And Dylan Poteet is not going away. He's still there. But can London mirror drive? He made the mistake 2 weeks ago, or no, it was 3 weeks ago, of letting chaser Jessica Shelton get on by him and let a win slip through his fingers at Canadian Tire. He doesn't want to do it again, but he got off track a little bit there, and now Dylan Poteet gets the run to his inside. Poteet trying to stay with the 22. He will. Now it's a braking contest here into this corner, this right-hander, and it's going to be Poteet back to the top position. And now DJ Curtis to the inside of Pichu London, and that could take Pichu London out of the picture, at least for the moment. Now London's battling with a lap car. London's got to clear DJ Curtis if he's going to set his sights back on Dylan Poteet. And DJ clears Pichu London, so now Dylan Poteet's got a buffer between himself and London, and London got up track. London got up the track, he got into the steel guardrail. He loses second place to Dougie Shears. And he's about to lose third place to Johnny Gardner. Pichu London, oh, he's going to lose, he's going to lose third place there as he gets off track again. So now Dylan Poteet has quite a gap between himself and the new second place driver of Dougie Shears. But Poteet might make a mistake here, and if so, Dougie Shears would be able to capitalize. Right now, the top 2 spots are held by chase drivers, and if one of them goes to victory lane, they're locked into the third round of the chase. Dougie Shears was about 1.9 seconds back that last lap, as there's 2 laps to go. What Dougie Shears has to hope is one of 2 things. Either 1, Dylan Poteet catches up to Levi McIntyre, who right now is on the tail end of the lead lap, and that McIntyre causes problems holding up Dylan Poteet, or DJ Curtis can catch up to Poteet and start racing him, and cause Dylan Poteet's focus to be taken off of Dougie Shears, closing on his back bumper. But time is also running out rapidly, and we're about to get the white flag. Dylan Poteet, what a points day this is going to be for him. If he can close the deal with one more lap as the white flag's displayed, Poteet is into the next round of the chase for the championship. Dylan Poteet has not been in the chase since Season 8. He made it into the Final 4 in that event. Last season, he went completely winless. This season, he had 2 early wins at Auto Club Las Vegas, races 2 and 3, and he's looking for his 3rd win of the season here today at Lime Rock. He started on the pole. He waited until the cycle of pit stops, got back to the lead, held off the challenges of Pichu London, and Dylan Poteet's going to pick up a road course victory. Not really known for his road course racing style, but it happens here today. Checker flag waves. Dylan Poteet wins at Lime Rock, and he's into the next round of the chase for the championship. And you know, we look at the beginning of the season, we looked at the trends coming into this season, how back in Season 8, it was the first 2 races of the season, non-chasers end up winning that, and then the first 2 races of Season 9 in the chase, chasers end up winning with Michael Norman at Daytona, Brandon Gonzalez at Martinsville. This season, we have now run our 5th chase race of the season, and so far we have had 4 of the winners of these 5 chase races be chase drivers. Shelton at Canadian Tire, Ryan Acosta at Indianapolis, John Cittadino at Richmond, and Dylan Poteet here today at Lime Rock. Only non-chaser to win a chase race so far this season has been Chris Dollerton. How about that? So you could definitely see with being the last season in Snickers Cup, the urgency for these chase drivers to win is at an all-time high. This is the most times that we have seen chase drivers win chase races ever in Snickers Cup Series history. So far, they are 4 for 5. But Dylan Poteet and John Cittadino now will head into Zenjoltis completely worry-free of where they finish next week at Zenjoltis, which of course is a big wildcard race, because they both have won here in the 2nd round of the chase, and they will move on to the 3rd round. The question is, though, who is going to be joining them in that top 8? Dougie Shears, the next highest finishing chaser, with a 2nd place run here today. That's a great run for him, a well-needed run, as he came in pretty solid 2nd place in the point standings, and so this may solidify him into the next round, depending on what happens next week at Zenjoltis. Rest of the chasers, where they finish, Jessica Shelton, another great solid road course outing for her. Road course seemed to be her forte here this season, as she gets 8th place. Austin LaPlante going to finish out the day in 10th. John Cittadino, he came into this race worry-free, but still a solid run of 12th. Cole Daly finishes 13th. Ryan Acosta, 14th place for him. And remember, he came in the 9th position in points. That's a danger zone for, 9th place, yep. So that's a danger zone spot that he was in. He may move out of it after a good run today. Sean Galligan, 16th place for him. Trent Dunham in 20th. Now, it'll be interesting to see about Trent, where he is in the situation of all this. He finished ahead of Lawler. He finished ahead of Wells. But there's a number of drivers that he did not finish ahead of. So he may still be in a danger zone spot, but he may pick up a couple spots in the standings. You look further down here for the rest of our chasers. Lawler in 24th. This is not good for him. He came in dead last of the 12 chase drivers still in the hunt. So this is not what he needed. He really will probably need a victory next week at Zenjoltis. Danny Wells, maybe the same thing. He came into this race only 1 point over 9th in the standings, Ryan Acosta. So he probably, with a poor finish of 27th, he's probably fallen outside of the top 8 in standings now, down to the danger zone. As you look further down at the other chasers here, of course, there's that big question mark about what happened with James Qualls there. Well, that penalty, he served it, but then he had to come down pit road again, so not really certain what happened with him, but apparently he got some kind of a penalty. Maybe we can clear it up at some point, find out. But tough break there for the 70 car, and he'll finish in 40th place. Now, Qualls, I think, still is in a situation where he can still make it into the top 8 in points next week, but it'll all depend on where everybody else finished according to the point standings and everything. And then you look further down here, and you can see we had only 2 drivers retire from the race, William Duncan and Austin Mongold. That was from an incident back on lap number 1. We went green flag racing the entire rest of the way. DJ Curtis will get Rookie of the Year, or Rookie of the Race, I should say, with a 34th place run here today. So he'll cut down the points lead Austin Mongold has over him to 2 points heading into next week. But next week, it's Zenjoltis. It's definitely a wild card race. It's a high-speed action race where they can go 5 wide, sometimes 6 wide, and keep it together. And, of course, we know how much of a factor Zenjoltis played into the championship battle last season in Snickers Cup. But anyway, we're getting ready to pack it up and head to our second elimination race. Who will be the next 4 eliminated from the chase for the championship? Who will be the Elite 8 moving into the 3rd round of the chase for the championship? We already know 2 of them, John Cittadino and Dylan Poteet, with their wins here in the past 2 weeks. Thank you all so much for watching today's race here from Lime Rock. If you enjoyed today's race, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe, become part of the crew today. We'll now show you your full finishing results as well as your overall point standings, your rookie points, and your chase points heading into next week. Remember, if you are in spots 9 through 12, you are in what's known as the danger zone, and you need to get out of there before the race ends next week, so you can be in the top 8 and try and move into the final 4 for the season finale at Auto Club. You've been watching a production of the NNSCRA Offline Racing at its Best. We'll see you next week at Zenjoltis. Hey, thanks for watching another video here on the NNSCRA Sports and Gaming channel. If you enjoyed the content you just saw, be sure to give this video a like. If you want to join the crew today, be sure to hit up that subscribe button. And if you want to know what's going on in the world of NNSCRA for news and updates, check out the Facebook and Twitter links down below me. Once again, thanks for watching everybody, and I will see you guys next time. I'm out.